here I prevent if user is log out, then unable to go dashboard, profile and home page. So I use location hook and use effect hook. Sorry, use location is a part of router DOM, and use effect is a hook, and use effect is run when the component is load. First I will check local storage is equal to empty or undefined. But before, if you simply write local storage dot get item set user equal to undefined, and then it give true value because it check with undefined variable. But I want that this set user, if the item is get from local storage, that item is not equal to undefined. So first I will check type of, then local storage is equal to null and is empty, means the local storage has some values or not. If that scenario is true, then simply I will navigate to login page. Otherwise, and again I check opposite of first one. Simply not null means local storage have some values. Then that time I want to navigate to dashboard. Means simply if user is logged in, then it go to the dashboard page. And after, if here I do one thing, that if you are in profile or home page other than the dashboard, and if you refresh your page, then again it come on dashboard. To prevent this phenomena, I will use param. Means I first I simply get the path from the URL and then navigate to that URL. So if I do this, then if you refresh your page, then you can't go to the dashboard page. You are stay on that page after refreshing your page. So it's prevent to, after refreshing your page, don't redirect to dashboard. Now I think login registration to log out, all phenomena is handled, and it's time for profile page. So this after logout, the user can't be get dashboard, home, profile or another page. If login, then they can access. For profile, I will also pass in prop and from parent to child also. and also use logout functionality in profile. Add on click handle event. Now your page is secure. And from profile, now proceed further. Add all the input fields which I want to update the user, which user can update the details. And I also want to navigate. This function is related to update. First I want state of user details where the set well, the details of user we set and get. First I want all the details as an object, so I can copy from register. Here I don't want email and password. First name, last name, first all the details be null. For OB I want as an array. And this UID is already generated, so I don't want here. And for updated that, I simply update by new date. And here you can add all the input fields of user detail. First I will show the error or success message related to input field. H2, this is the heading of the profile. Edit your profile, and here I want a button if a user want to delete his user account. So I get as a small, padding is equal to 0 and 15. From top and bottom 0 and from left to right 15 pixel. And for button I use main button, and I want a small button, so simply I style inline. Font size should be 10 pixel, and the padding top 2 pixel and left to right 5. Here I handled the event on click. I make a function relate delete your account. So to prevent this error, first I will make a empty function. So this error is not shown to me. And here I can add all the input fields. form. I will take a form. First I add input field as email, wrap to a div. First I give label for the email field, and this is not an input field, simply I just want to display the user emails. So I take label and then show the user emails. I use again question mark then dot. This is this is because for first time user detail have null values, and sometime if you get the direct email, then maybe it shows some errors to you. To prevent this error, you can use question mark then dot. I make a function related to get the details from the local storage, because when user is logged in, their email password created at and username is saved in local storage, so the information is there also. But this function is useful or not, if in future if I require, then I will use, but till I make a function for getting the user information from local storage, for get the information from local storage. Xander, make all the details implement later. I will use if I will if I think there is a scenarios which I can use this function, then I will, otherwise leave it as it is. Here I check the information has some values or not by validating them. If I somehow if I get some undefined or null values, so to prevent the error, I use this way. First I check undefined, is that the item has type of undefined or not, or is null or not. Then if the values have, then simply parse from stringify to simply as object. So I use json.parse, and if I get some undefined or something else, then simply return empty object. And I set the details of user as simply use of the structure by the use of spread operator. This is a way to concatenate two objects, and this is come, I think this is come in year 6, Java year 6, and use effect to call this function when the component is load. So here you can check the detail of user is shown in profile page, and if I put here, then it's show me error because default data is outside of this effect. So simply I can use data here. So it's on depend on you that how you can use. You can directly set the data, or you can get the data from local storage also. Or if you don't want to get data from local storage, then you can simply you can call another fetch API. Now I make another input field, form control label, and I want as a username. This HTML4 attribute is used when you click on that username, then your cursor is auto focus on input field. This is happening by with the use of ID. You can define ID also in input field with the same name. Update placeholder is update your username. Then I want to name as a username because this name attribute help to get the data from the input field. And I want to wrap this in a div. So I can style margin top 1 rem. I want some gap between the email and the all other details which I listed below, which I want to list it below. And for two-way binding, I will use value, and if the user detail have username, then simply it's set. Here you can see the uncontrolled behavior. So you use if the value is, then value come, otherwise it gives some empty one. Here your value is display. Yeah. After writing on change event, the error which shown in console is also disappear because it's related. It's give by the React.js. That two-way binding is not completed. First I get the name attribute, and then on behalf of name attribute it get the values from the input field. Now make another input, and this detail is related to first name, user first name. I also change in name, ID and value. Here placeholder, update your name or first name, anything. If you don't write on change, then you can't be able to write in input field. Here I use inline style for text transform. If you write any letter, then first letter is in capital. Next field is related to last name. So first copy, then change last name. Here last name This name is same as which you take as object in use state. Now it's time for another one. Mobile number, change also the also here. Change first name. Now it's time for next which one? I think language. Then here I use select option. For select option, first I name, give name attribute, then ID, change HTML4 also. For styling, leave it as it is. First I want to display values from in drop down. First value is empty and I want as disabled. Disabled, DISABLE, disabled. Select value, select language. Add a class, name. Name, why this gives me error? Because name is already right. And class name is input, value be user detail dot language. Okay, language is empty. Here first I remove this and call this here. For languages, I want the value from array and then loop through. Okay, then I do first undo all the things. After that, I make a variable for languages and I make as a static. I define different languages in an array and then after I simply loop through using map function. And also I define for hobbies. I define some hobbies in an array gaming, cooking and so on. Here you see the value related error from select option. So write on change, and first I pass e as the argument and call set user detail, where I simply get all the old one, and for new one I just pass name and then their value. The error is gone now, and for all the languages I map through languages dot map, and I in anonymous I make a language variable and simply return JSX value, pass the value here language, and for every option have a key value, so I pass key as a language, and you can get all the language in drop down. Drop down is also completed. Now make input field for hobbies, and I want in a checkbox label is not in caps, select hobbies, and first I remove the input field, and here I want a div because I want in a inline, so I want inline styling and use display flex, and first I loop all the hobbies by map, pass hobby, here for JSX I use small bracket, then for key I pass hobby, every div have a label, in HTML for attribute I pass hobby also, and name which is displayed to the user, this is also hobby, but I want inside in label I want HTML input type tag and checkbox inside the label, so type is checkbox, class name input, and ID the same as hobby, because when you click on that name then it focus or checked, and name is hobby, value be hobby, and display the name. So after I finish the input, simply display hobby, basis and hobby. Okay, now styling inline style for display flex, and I just want a gap between them, so 10 pixel, 10 pixel. Okay, now you can check your checkbox is also completed. Next field is gender, select gender, gender, input type is radio button, for hobbies, first one is simply direct. And now for gender, div style display flex, because just I want to show like a checkbox, like inline. And then make another div. Here I pass input field and type is radio, value be male, id be same male, gender, name attribute is gender because male and female both have gender attribute, and label, pass your label as a male. HTML4 is same as id male, and the radio button has some name like male. Another input field for female, so copy and paste, change the values also. Now you can select your radio button as a male or female. Next input field is for DOB, date of birth. First pass in HTML4, here also date of birth, and DOB is in small. Okay, placeholder you can use, or you can simply remove that, because if I use date as a type, then placeholder is not displayed. So in name attribute, change DOB, ID is same, then value, and on change event is same because it get by the name attribute and the value. And I think this one is last for bio, means if user want to display some bio, then they can write in text area. So I remove the input field. First till middleware, I simply just use a CRUD operation, and how the value is passed as a global. And after that I think I just want to expand this project as more features like comment system, like feature, and all the things, and all the detail I want just save in a data.json file. I don't use any database. And I will also make a REST API in Spring Boot, where login and registration part I already handled. I make a video. So after that I will connect Spring Boot to the this React.js. I get some error, and number 276 submit data is not defined, because the function which I create is also defined here. Make a function for updating the details. Const in small submit data function. Here I prevent the first I make a async, and for preventing the reload I just pass E and prevent default error. From starting, I use the try catch for handling the error. Try to for your coding life. I think you should maintain the use of try catch block because it's a good way to write your code all the time. Handle your errors. This is the put method. Get the base URL for data. Get the details from user detail. Use effect. Use state. Const response data is equal to wait. I get the details after saving the data. So after getting the data, I just want to console what I get after saving the data. What I get response from the server. If I select the date, first name, I can also name something like test1, last name, whatever you want. Mobile number, give 10-digit number. This field is not validate. Type male, female, and the text area. Write your bio and then submit. Save, but I get some empty response. If I refresh, then the response is not saved in data.json file. Why? There is no 404 error found, I think. 404. Why? Because in fetch. Okay, I get which user I want to save. So I pass the specific ID or email. So here I want just ID. And ID, how I get, starting I use a navigate. Now you can check the details is updated here also. Now hobbies, till now hobby is empty and gender is also null. Now reflect your changes in input field also. So for that, after updating, I will also update in local storage. So after getting response data, I want to save in local storage, set atom and set user, and the detail is response, but I first change to a stringify because it's come as an object. Convert in stringify. Now if I again save, save with another detail, now you can check detail is updated in local storage, and if you refresh your page, then information is still on your page. Now two field is remaining, checkbox, and second one is gender. For both, now I will start first off, and your language is also not updated. If I choose Java, now it's working because there I not select from the drop down. You can check local storage is also updated. If I checkbox is not saved, and gender is also. Make a condition for check. If user detail has some hobby, include from, because hobby is in array, so I just use include JS function. Include is advanced JS ES6 function which is used to check the values in array, and after that if is, then simply check, and on change set the previous state and then your current one, all the previous with the new one. Here I get error because I use braces, not bracket. Previous state. Okay, now again, if first I check, if the target is checked, then simply set the user detail with the previous state and the current one, then previous state and hobby with the previous and current one which you checked. Otherwise, if the checkbox is not checked, then simply set the state with the previous one, and for current one check if the previous state has in hobby, then simply filter, and after check if current one is not equal to the, if the from filter is not equal to the current one, then return this. Now you can check your hobby is also updated. Here you can check in local storage also, and for now radio button, sorry, for radio button I write same condition which I write in checkbox, but now it check from string, not from array. If this condition is true, then simply return true, otherwise it return false, means check false, check true after the comparing. And for setting the values, simply call set user detail, then the previous user detail value, and for current pass as name attribute, and then their value is checked or not. Okay, now your radio button is also working, and again it tried for female also. Okay, now your value is saving. So I think from here your all CRUD operation is working fine except your delete operation. If I want, if I delete the information from the local storage, then simply redirect to the login page, because it's validate the user from local storage. And if I delete only value, then you show here, you can see the error. So this is the different scenarios where you can face some error. If I write that way, then it work or not. No, it's not working. Actually, in real case, there is no situation where you can get this issue. But here I show you, if any issue you will find, then you will make prepare for that situation. That how you can handle. So you can use only if you can write a check here, but for now I will simply leave it as it is. If I can change this one, in that case is also give error. So you can check that how you can handle this situation, but for now I will leave it as it is, because it's working fine for me code. This all code is working fine for me. If you manually delete the information from local storage, only the value, not a key, then you face this error. So now it's work on delete your account. For deleting, I copy the all the try and catch block, and right here in delete your account function, and here I also simply change your delete and don't pass the body, because it's delete by the help of your parameter which you pass on URL. And from local storage I also remove the value and navigate to, and I also want navigate the user after deleting. Here is not defined. Okay, if I delete, yes, all this information deleted but not navigate, so I use navigate and the dashboard, not dashboard, not in login. Now your all CRUD operation is working fine. Here you can check, only I have one user, and if I log in and dashboard, update the details. Okay, fine. Now delete.